10:32, that's the time on this Tuesday morning. We are down to one more guest for the day, and man, are you guys' like sinuses going nuts or anything lately? Like honestly, I'm
the season.
I'm telling you, I'm getting railroaded between nasty Facebook comments and the sinuses. I don't know what's worse. You know, we were talking. We met through email. Nice to officially meet you in person.
Yeah.
And we were talking all about Happy Hooves Equine Rescue Center. And now, where are you guys located at?
Edwardsville, Illinois.
And Mary,
we're right on 140, so we're straight from Alton. Like hop on college and just come on out to the farm.
And I didn't say hi to Mary yet. Mary is the owner of the Happy Hooves Equine Rescue Center. And Mary, I got to ask you, how did the rescue come about?
Well, been in horses for a long, long time. And one day I had somebody say, "Why do you have so many horses?" And I said, "Because they all need homes." And they said, "Why don't you think about doing some kind of a rescue sanctuary?" And so that's sort of how it came about. Since 2010.
Oh, wow. We've been in the game for a little bit, huh?
Yeah. This isn't just overnight. This didn't just happen.
Well, and I've talked to rescues similar before. No one realizes the need for an equine rescue, you know, and regardless of if it's for, you know, wild horses or domesticated horses. I mean, there's so many, especially when I'm seeing and had someone on that talks about farms that just can't sustain themselves, and then horses aren't being fed and they're malnourished and they aren't healthy. Do you see a lot of that?
Well, yes, you see the lack of care.
Yeah.
But you see what it is a lot of these people, it isn't that they mean to do it.
Yeah.
They don't mean to do it. Some of it is lack of education.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is that they believe that their horse is being cared for by somebody else that they've hired, but it's not following through. So that's been, and then a lot of our rescues come to us because we have terminally ill people out there get terminally ill.
Yeah.
That's where our big draw is. So we try to help the horse owners that have terminally ill. They're not sure where their beloved animal's going to go. And so we try to give them an option.
What a great thing! What a great thing, because that's my family grew up with a lot of horses up in Edwardsville and all of that, and so I understand the connection. And whenever you have animals like that, you have horses. You know, their chance they're going to outlive you if you're 70 years old, and it's scary.
Yes, and what I wanted to do is create something very specific.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of rescues out there across the country that take from kill pens.
Yeah.
They get from other areas and avenues. There's very, very, very few rescues that will take elderly horses that may be even at the end of their life.
I just love this. I mean, because you're right, and it takes up, whenever you have a specialty, you know, like this, you're freeing up inventory for folks to go back into the kill pens and save more while you're doing your specialty. And that's very, very huge in the whole mission of the equine rescue industry.
Yeah, it's completely different. It's from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, a lot of the horses at our place are technically retired. So imagine all of your moms and dads that retire.
Yeah.
Now they're looking for something to do. They can't do or won't do or don't want to do the job they did before.
Right.
Well, how do we make them feel useful? How do we make them feel wanted and needed and loved and cared for? Because that doesn't stop when they can't do their job anymore.
Well, and I think that there's got to be so much benefit and joy just from your side alone, especially if you love horses, you know, and have such a passion for them, knowing that, you know what, 9 times out of 10, I mean, let's be honest here. We know when a horse gets older, it's not necessarily we don't want you, but they're not as, you know, loved as they should be in some cases.
Yeah.
And whenever you can set up a great ending chapter for them and give them all the resources and just, you know, fields to go around and graze on and just having different activities, that's got to feel amazing, honestly.
It feels good because I've always said that these horses still deserve dignity.
They do.
And a lot of them don't get that.
Very much so.
And so sometimes the dignity is, unfortunately, euthanasia at the time when it's right for them. But I'll tell you what, we are one of the only rescues that I know of that we have 6 horses we know of that are over the age of 30.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because it seems like with horses, and I'm not an expert at this by any means, but just from my encounters, it seems like when a horse hits that 15 or 20 year mark, and maybe they get a little bit sick, and it's not anything deadly, it's just they're getting a little bit older and have some things that need to get looked at. The owners sometimes just kind of go, oh, well, it's time. And they have so much more life to live.
Sometimes it's a twofold thing. Okay. Sometimes you get, from that perspective, veterinarians are great. I love what they do.
They're wonderful.
They don't know what to do, though, after a certain time, because the horse is not viable to be able to do their old thing that they did, whatever it was. And so the veterinarian doesn't have an option for these people. The veterinarian doesn't say, hey, you know what? Your horse can do XYZ, or you could go XYZ here. There's a mindset that things can't change. It either has to stay the same for the person,
right.
So the horse has to come in and fill the void.
Yeah.
But then what happens to the horse that can't fill the void anymore? Right. That's where we want to come in and either educate the owner about options that they can do with that horse for the rest of their life, or find the person that wants to take that horse to do that thing that they can do for the rest of their life.
Well, and you know, another point to that too is when a horse gets older, or maybe you got to start making some accommodations because of mobility issues. Some of those things could get pretty costly for certain farmlands and for certain ways their pens are set up and their areas are. So, you know, when someone's nervous and going, man, you know, I hate to do this, but we're going to have to spend $5 or $6 grand to make this accessible for the horse to thrive. This is a much better avenue, because you aren't doing something you don't want to do, and you're making sure that that horse has the quality of life that it really deserves. And that's just me. I don't know if I'm saying anything right here. It's just my thought.
No, it absolutely has to do with, there's a bottom line to everything, and it's what is feasible for the people, and sometimes it's usually people get horses for their kids.
Yeah.
Even if the parents hold on to the horse after the kid has grown and left and doing their life, the horse is still there. And then the people are going, well, I'm too old to take care of this now. My kids don't want it anymore. My kids are not interested. What do we do? And so this is an avenue that I tell people, I'm like, well, call and let's discuss, because maybe for that horse, unfortunately, euthanasia might be the answer, depending. But usually I find something that we can help and find something for that horse.
So let me touch on that. Some of the services that you provide when someone does pick up that phone and say, hey, you know, my parents are just getting put into, you know, maybe a nursing home, or maybe we're at the end of the chapter there. I don't know what to do with their horses. What are some of the options? What are some of the conversations that are had in that first call?
Well, usually the conversation is about, well, do you have a place for the horse to stay for now?
Yeah.
Is the horse safe now?
Yeah.
Are they fed? Is what are your immediate needs? You know, some of it is, I don't know where to go with this. My parents they always took care of it, and I didn't keep up, and I don't really know what to do. So they'd say, I'm willing to keep the horse, I just don't know what to do. So I might give them advice on services to go look for another facility to take the horse to, because they're still wanting to keep it, but maybe they just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So those kind of options. Then there's the other options of, if we have room to take it, if usually what we try to do is we try to see if people can contribute financially to its well-being for X amount of time to help us be able to evaluate where the horse needs to go, what we need to do, and how to, proceed.
How expensive does it get when we're talking about a veterinary bill for some of these things? Because, we always get we grimace when we take our dogs in now with the shots, because everything's like $8,000. It's all because they want you to get pet insurance. I have a whole conspiracy on this. They're ready to build the
I don't know how much that benefits you either.
No.
That's not. We don't pay for that. We only pay for this. But
they just want to
you haven't met your deductible yet.
Exactly. I think there's something more to play here. But when we're talking horses, I mean, I could only imagine the thousands upon thousands of dollars at some of these. Is that the case?
It can be. The one thing that I've done over the last 35 years is I've educated myself to the upper.
That's what you got to do.
And because then I can decide and I can make a really clear judgment of, is this a veterinary call? Is this a maintenance issue? And how do we proceed from here?
Yeah.
Because to keep the costs down, most rescues, their biggest cost is veterinary.
Right.
Our biggest cost is feed.
Wow. That's actually pretty nice to hear, because even though feed's very expensive, it's
Right.
not comparatively close really to vet bills.
Right. The vet bills can be outrageous. Yeah, you can rack up $1,000 like in a split second.
I bet.
And so being educated and aware of all of these circumstances does not make me a veterinarian.
No.
It does not make me a professional in the health industry. However, I believe that this goes twofold for humans and for animals. You have to be educated. You can't just take an expert at their expertise.
Well, you're right. And here's why I'll even follow up with, we have a bunch of nurses, and we used to. Now we have a couple of nurses left in my family. And hell, I can tell you this, before I call the doctor, I call them first and say, hey, what do you think? Because I don't know. And I don't want to go to a doctor not knowing any type of background information on what could or couldn't be.
Absolutely. Because they give you this amount of time, little tiny amount of time, and you better have the right questions to ask so you get the right answers to know what you need to do to help yourself. And otherwise, they just put you into this funnel of whatever. And I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying it's just their procedure.
Yeah.
And I like to say my procedure, the farm's procedure is, hey, let's take it as a holistic view.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where we're at. If we've got believe me, if we've got a gaping wound that's wide open and you need stitches, yes, call the vet. Don't be a ding-dong.
Right.
Do the right thing. Right. But if we're thinking I've got a little limpy going on here, I don't need to call the vet for that.
Yeah.
How about if we just approach it from a roundabout, and how's this going with them and how's that going with them? Did they step on a rock? Did they bruise their foot? Did they twist their ankle? Did they do this? Did they do this? Let's give them a few days. Let's see what happens. Let's do basic maintenance. Let's treat that as just what you would with yourself. If you pulled something, you'd wrap it up and baby it for a little bit and see if it gets better. If it doesn't, you're going to go get an x-ray.
Well, I saw something, and I just saw some on Facebook, and it was about a horse that was having some hip issues, and a guy came over. It was like, it took him 10 minutes. He just started feeling around on the back, kind of side of it, and he pushed it a little bit and started rubbing, and all of a sudden you heard a click, and that was it. It wasn't a vet bill. It was just a guy that knew what he was doing on how to kind of get it back into black,
Yep.
Sure.
Now, I got to ask you this. Let's say someone's in dire straits right now, and they're dealing with a horse that's maybe at the end of its life, or they're dealing with somebody at the end of their life that has horses. Do you have room to accommodate any horses currently, or are you full?
Well, space is not the issue.
Okay.
Finances are the issue.
Perfect.
You have to be able to maintain the horses. And so that is food. So feed, hay. We have the cheap things, water, and we have plenty of pasture. We have plenty of space for the horse to exist. It's the financial that we need to talk about because it's real. When a bale of hay, 4 years ago, we could buy top quality hay at $4 a bale. Now we're talking 12,
What?
13, 14, 15, $16 a bale.
Whoa.
Yes.
How and why? I mean, that is astronomical.
Go to the grocery store.
Well, is it seriously the same problem?
It's a commodity. So anything that's a commodity has flux.
That makes
so
sense.
once you're in flux, it just keeps fluxing until it levels itself out.
No, not to cut. How much money does it take a month to run the center?
Well,
That's in flux all the time.
that's in flux all the time. Yes.
But
Susan, would you like to?
on average, what
we
are
can
we
tell
talking?
you it's $50 a day. That's very that's conservative.
Very conservative.
per horse.
Yeah.
a day.
Oh my God.
And we have 20.
We have 27 right now. We took 2 in because we think we can get. We think they are viable for rehoming.
Oh wow. Well, and now with that being said too, let me ask you this at home watching. You're a non-for-profit, correct?
Correct.
Guess what's going to be coming up here in April? Your taxes. And you have a couple of quarters left to make those tax-deductible donations while helping a good cause. And let me kind of entice you more here, listener. And if you're watching live or on demand, thank you for doing so. What if you gave $100 just every week? You know, I mean, you got to hit that $2,000, $3,000 deductible minimum anyway sometimes for your brackets or where you're at. Not me, because I still got a long way to go. But for some of you that are making some good money, you know what you got to do each and every year. Donate $100 a week for 3 months.
Or
and
if you have a
see what
tractor
happens.
you'd like to donate.
Donate.
We're
Do you need tractors too?
We do need tractors.
Yeah,
Just one.
we're creating funding. We're going to have to for a new tractor. We have 30 acres that we mow of pasture, and you would not believe the time that it takes to do that.
You're
constantly mowing. It's
Yeah.
constant. And you have to do that to maintain the pasture forage so you can sustain these animals. Most of these horses come in with no teeth.
What?
They don't have teeth.
They're old enough, or they've
old
not
en-
been cared for, and they're eating too much sweet feed. They're just
Oh
so
my
they don't
God.
have
So they can't chew. So then that means every piece of their food is soaked or soft. So grass is a favorite. What happens in the winter? Well, that means you go to porridge, soaked grain, soaked hay cubes, soaked everything. That's the hard part to sustain when you get to that point, because that takes a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot, and it's hard on them because they're not digesting anything solid.
Yeah, that's
so
very
it changes
dangerous.
how everything works. And yeah, teeth are important.
So let me ask you this: what are the necessities right now for Happy Hooves? I know you said tractor. I know, obviously, cost of living for the horses and food and feed and all of that. But if you could kind of, I hate to say, shopping list it, but what are some of the important commodities that are needed right now?
I mean, speaking of commodities, like I said, things do shift.
Yeah,
and depending on,
totally.
like you think about farriers, most people don't understand, ladies going to get their nails done and men getting their nails and their toes done. The horses have to be maintained. Their hooves must be maintained for their own health.
That
and
causes a
well-being.
lot of problems,
It
isn't
can
that?
cause so many
A
problems.
lot
It can
of
be
the horses
root.
we get.
That's what I
why
was
they come in.
wondering.
Right. Yeah, so that's the root. If they've been stalled and they're standing in their own feces and then they're not being walked around in sand, they're not getting cleaned. Yeah, a lot of these horses, and again, not because someone just doesn't care. I mean, there is that, but a lot of times just they don't know what to do. So a farrier, it costs us $50, $55, $60, depending on what the horse needs, every horse. And so we've got them on a rotating basis. And so sometimes Mary will be like, you know what, this one's not so bad. We're going to ferry it because we're going to save $60. So I think the important thing is we want to raise awareness that we're there. We'll take any kind of donation anybody wants to do. We are always open to having volunteers come. That's helpful. The horses need love. They need affection. If you don't know how to curry a horse and how to clean their hooves, pick them, we'll teach you. But we need any kind of donation is welcome. We have sponsorships. You can sponsor a horse. We have sponsorship levels, so you don't have to adopt it or buy it or pay for room and board, but you can sponsor a horse for, you can go online, happyhooves.com and look at our website and read into our sponsorships. and different things.
Happyhooves.org.
Sorry, .org. I
We're an
apologize. We are an org.
We're an org.
So what it is, if you think we need $50 a day to feed them. So if you just put that in perspective, we'll take anything. We're not. We'll take your time. We'll take your money. And we're a great group. I just have to say we have a great group of people. We have young volunteers. We have summertime, so we have a lot of teenagers out there helping us out.
Look at this. Right here.
There you go.
Here's how you can do some adoption and sponsorship. I am on Happy Hooves Equine. Equine.com. And you just go to sponsor and adopt program, and we're going to. I always like doing this on the fly because it loads. But look at those beautiful
Absolutely. I love
horses.
it.
Look at those beautiful
Yes.
horses. So
Tells you a little bit about them.
yeah, so you can sponsor all of these different horses. Bert looks cool. Bert's a 23-year-old thoroughbred. They used to call me thoroughbred.
Is that right? We don't want to know the details.
No, that's until they laughed at me. Maybe I called myself that. I don't know.
When you give yourself a nickname, it just doesn't.
Never does.
Doesn't have the same impact. It rarely holds.
So
rarely holds.
Here's some of the things that I think are interesting. Going back to the website is just some of these different opportunity sponsorships can be designated for a specific horse, so they can be granted to the whole of the herd. And here's what you can do help monthly with a one-time donation. You look at that, $10 for a bale of hay, 45 to 50 pounds. Has that gone up?
Yeah.
That's gone up.
$25 a bag. I mean, all of these things are there, and you're seeing what I think's cool is that you guys are honest and transparent. Here's what it's going towards. Here's what our day-to-day breakdown is, or our monthly breakdown, and that's really important for the public to know too.
Right. We go to all of ours are expense. Every dime that comes in is all to expenses. It's to property maintenance, property tax. There's no paid staff whatsoever.
No, we're all volunteers.
Wait,
100%.
whoa,
volunteers.
No, every single one of us.
I don't get paid for this. I own the place and I do not get paid for this.
This is incredible.
This is what I do. This is my heart.
Volunteers run the place.
Volunteers run the place. And so the financing that comes in does not pay a salary. It pays property taxes, it pays electric bills, it pays water bill. We get no help. We get no cheap vet bills. There's no donation of vet bills. There's no donation of farrier. There's no donation of maintenance. We buy our own liniment. We buy our own supplements. We buy there's no giving in that.
Wow.
Right. The volunteers will sometimes take turns like, okay, this month I'll buy this much, and then next we'll put a schedule up so the volunteers give what they can to buy the things that we need for the horses.
That's just, I mean, so for doing that this long, it's 2024. You've started at 2010. You said. So for 14 years, this has been running, and do you just credit that to the passion that all of you have? Because it seems like, this is a mountain to climb, and whenever you're maintaining for that long, there's something right going.
There is a passion for the animals, and it's all about their care. It's all about it. That's all it is. There's no agenda other than just the horses to be happy and for people to come in and experience with this and come in and be. This is one of the most zen places you will ever be. There's no agenda. It's chill, hang with the horses, help us out, let's do some things. That's really what it's about. It was designed as a true nonprofit. It's not a nonprofit to make money, to spend, to pay for administration.
Yeah, that's what I'm. When you said that you weren't taking us out, I'm just amazed by that, because that is typically the nonprofit
And I spend
approach.
60 hours a week doing this.
That's just incredible. That's truly incredible.
So that's what we do.
That's what we do.
What a great first question.
Off to the races, no pun intended.
And now, Susan, there's going to be some opportunities to go in and see for ourselves while we're writing that big fat donation check and giving our volunteer hours away. What are some of the upcoming opportunities to come see you?
Yeah, I'm really excited to tell you, and it doesn't have to be a big fat donation. Remember, any amount will do. We'll take it. We need it. So we have 3 open houses coming up. August 11th, September 8th, and October 13th. And I think we decided that was 9 to 2.
9 to 2.
All days?
All day. So 9 to 2
cool.
on those dates. And so anybody, bring the family, come all. Just come meet the horses, walk around the farm. We have goats too. If you like goats, we got chickens.
You got any fainting
some
goats?
Cats. We don't have any fainting goats.
No fainters.
We've got some noisy ones and a little annoying sometimes, but we've got 2 great donkeys too. I don't want to leave them out. Julio and Jake, they're quite the comedy duo. We love them so much. So yeah, we'd love for people to come
Donkeys have the most wild
They're
personalities.
so funny.
Oh my
They
god,
are so funny.
The favorite video I have is still that dog getting bit up by that electrical fence and that donkey just laughing his ass off. I thought that was hilarious. Oh my god, I have never laughed so hard in my life.
At our open house too.
Yeah, these are the opportunities
Yeah,
where
it's come
people
meet
can
'em.
come and see where your money goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You can
saying.
see it.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
can
I mean,
see
this
it.
is.
You can even come and look at it and go, "Hey, I want all of my money to go to that tractor because them are some nice pastures out there, and we want to keep them going."
Or this horse.
or this
that
particular horse.
I really
love this horse, and I want all of this. Yeah,
Yeah.
And you can designate that. We have no problem with that.
Absolutely.
I also see up here that you can take care of Billy, a 3-year-old goat who is a mix of a 3/4 dwarf Nigerian and 1/4 Nubian.
Nubian.
The Nubians are the big ones, aren't
Yeah,
they? Yeah,
the
that's
big with the floppy
Yeah.
ears. So he has the floppy ears, but he's just not so tall, and he's so cool. You can take him for walks everywhere.
Yeah, you can put a halter on him and walk
Yep.
him around.
He's
Yep.
serious. And now, seniors, I wanted to ask you about this.
So this is a program that we're always in flux again because it depends on some of our horses have been there for a long time, our elderly horses, and they're 30s. We have a barn that we call the senior barn, and all of those horses are over 25, 26, 27.
27, yeah,
somewhere in there.
28 years old, yeah.
So we are working with seniors visiting seniors, and this can be either an individual, just someone that wants to come out and spend some time with the horse, or we could organize a group activity. We just ask that you contact us to give us a date and time that you want to come out. But it's just to spend time with the horses. If you're capable of grooming, then we'll take you in and let you groom, but just to sit with them and hang with them, pet them, feed them a treat, just to be around them. They're very intuitive. They know. The horses know when you're having a good day or a bad day, even if they don't know you. They'll feed off of your energy, and just sitting with them can be really. It can just be very calming for people.
Well, and I know that, there's so many times that I'm seeing even in veterans programs with horses
Yes.
and how they really do help create that
Absolutely.
bond. And if
Yeah.
you're looking on your screen here, folks, this is Ladybug. Look how beautiful she is at 35 years old.
And
That is a
she's-
beautiful horse.
She's older than that now.
She's older than that now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she's still alive. She's 36 or 37.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's still doing, she's still going. She hangs out.
She's the leader of her little group in the herd.
little pack.
She's the tiny one, and these big old Mustangs and these big boys are just like, wherever she goes, they wait for her to go. If we let one of them out before her, they stand at the gate and wait for her. She's the boss. She's the queen of her little pod. We have also on Fridays, if you're on Facebook, we have something called Farm Fridays, and Mary goes around about 9 a.m.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
usually on Fridays, and we do different things. We're kind of trying out different platforms, but right now she'll take you around, introduce you to the horses, talk a little bit about what's going on. We're kind of focusing now on platforms that have to do with horse needs. So we may focus on a horse that's hooves were really bad when he came in, and Mary will give you the history of the horse, and then everything that we've been doing to rehab the horse and how far that horse has come. Just whatever topics are going on in the barn, but you'll get to meet all the horses that way, but we'd love for you to come in person and meet them.
Really cool. And then one final thing I wanted to talk about, I see it on your paper there, is that the youth group, is that a volunteer program?
Yeah, we're in development on that.
Okay.
It's hard because summers, kids are so
ton,
busy,
yeah.
and sometimes we have a lot of kids out there. Like today, I was like, wow, look at all the kids here. Great, we're leaving. Everybody's here to help. It was wonderful. And they have their sports and stuff, but we'd like to develop a group of young people that want to come consistently, even when school starts on the weekends.
Yeah.
A Saturday or a Sunday, and just to teach them basic horsemanship and just basic care of another creature that is deserving, regardless of whether they're rideable or not. They all need love. They all need attention.
And now, before we have to say goodbye because it's 11 o'clock, where are you guys located again?
We are at 7026 State Route 140, Edwardsville. Just from Alton.
Literally
literally get on College and just drive towards Bethalto. Go past Bethalto, about 7 miles past Bethalto.
If you got to Hamel, you went 5 miles too far.
Yeah.
That's really
That's
good.
it.
I like that a
We're
lot.
clearly marked. You can find
Clearly
us.
marked. Can't miss it.
And now, what are those dates again for open house?
Yeah, open houses are August 11th, September 8th, and October 13th from 9 to 2. We will have refreshments. Some of our girls make a mean lemon shake-up, but we'll have coffee, donuts, those kind of things. And you can come out and just visit and see what we do.
We'll have a raffle for
Yeah.
free horse experience.
Oh,
Yeah, we do
nice.
horse experience. That's
Yeah.
another thing we wanted to mention real quick.
Yeah.
So get online, and that's just a great little experience for any age to come out and just get to know a horse. Doesn't matter what your experience level is. We'll work with you.
That's so cool. Well, we'll link everything on our write-up on RiverBender.com, or you can learn more by going to happyhoovesequine.org and learn more today. We'll see you tomorrow for more of our daily show. Until then, as always, just try your best to stay out of jail.
Oh, yes, it did.